Oil prices slightly higher this morning following OPEC Plus's decision to lower output by 100,000 barrels a day. A Goldman Sachs note warning that household electric bills in Europe could grow by $2 trillion by next year due to the ongoing energy crisis. Joining me now, Chairman and CEO of Red Apple Group, United Refining Company, Gristedes and D'Agostino's Supermarkets, John Catsimatidis. First, John, happy birthday.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. How bad is this energy crisis going to get? Because what is in Europe is coming our way based on Biden's energy policies if we're not careful.
It's not good. We have some shortages coming on in the Northeast. There was shortages in an emergency in the Midwest when the BP refinery in Indiana went down for at least 10, 15 days. And in California, they're having rolling blackouts. I can't understand that the governor of California says we're going to cut out gas cars by 2030, 2035, and then he has a press conference and says, please don't plug in your electric cars because we have rolling blackouts. I mean, our way of life is under attack. And it's horrible what's going on. The electric car problem is a joke. It cannot happen by 2030, 2035. It should be optional. It should not say it has to happen by 2030, 2035. We don't have the power system, or we don't have the systems to do it. It's like rely on your home to heat it by solar power when it's cloudy. I mean, it's just nuts. And there's big power, and there are big problems in Europe. Putin is trying to get even with everybody, and he has cut out some of the European countries, shut down the pipeline, and the Brits, the Germans, they're all going to be cold.
Now here, John, you've obviously an interesting window into the inflation problem because you're in the grocery business, also in the oil business. Now, you've seen inflation headed down, but when you look at oil supply, are you less optimistic? Do you think oil prices go up from here, but food prices come down? What do you expect?
There's a game being played on our country. There's a game being played at Washington. You know, we used to say there's something rotten in Denmark. You know what we say now? There's something rotten in Washington. And the fact is the Saudi Arabians who promised Joe Biden, and they were making fun of him, that we're going to increase at 100,000 barrels a day, which is nothing. And now, yesterday, they make an announcement, we're going to cut out that 100,000 barrels a day. Putin is shutting off the valves on his pipeline, and the squeeze play is on. Because as I predicted, crude oil is coming down. If we hit a high of 120, 125, yesterday was 86, 87 this morning. The Canadians have projected for 2023 $75 a barrel, and it could happen. And guess what? The Saudi Arabians, the Iranians, the Russians, they don't want it at $75 a barrel. They want it at $100 a barrel because they're making a ton of money. So our country is being played. And they don't have any respect for this current White House. And look, I respect the President of the United States, no matter who he is, whether I like him or don't like him. I respect the President of the United States, and that's the right thing to do. But I'm telling all my friends, this November is a crucial election. We need a balance of power in Washington, just to let the Democrats and Republicans argue with each other. That way, we're not going down the wrong direction. I mean, look at the amount of fentanyl coming in from the borders. You know, in the last 12 months, 140,000 Americans have died. That is more than Korea and Vietnam put together. I mean, give me a break. When is the Secretary of Homeland Security going to realize he's not doing his job?
But you live here in New York City, don't you?
Oh, it's the crime in New York City.
So, but again, this is a sinkhole, And it's been like that for years and years and years. And we're witnessing it, where Mayor Eric Adams, rather than standing up for victims, does not do that. He wants to blame Governor Greg Abbott for illegal migrants when this indeed is a sanctuary city and has been for years. How do you reverse it? Because New York City hasn't been able to do that in the last, well, starting with de Blasio.
Well, somebody has to put their foot down. And Hochul right now is the governor, and she has the responsibility of putting her foot down, and she hasn't done that yet with the Assembly or the State Senate. And Zeldin, I think, is closing in on Hochul's lead. And Lee Zeldin, I think if he became governor, that he will definitely put his foot down. So I would say a change in politics in New York City, New York State, because that's where the election is, and in Washington, to have a balance of power, to be able to have common sense return to our country and to our city.
She won't give a straight answer about debating Lee Zeldin either.
Well, that's true. But just to pin down the oil question, so you think it's going to 75 next year, or you think it's more going to be in the 100 where the Saudis and the Russians want it?
It depends if there's a new war. They don't want it. The normal course of business will be at 75 by the end of the year. And inflation goes away. And food prices, that inflation goes away. And guess what? The Fed doesn't have to raise the interest rates and kill the real estate market, because that's another industry.
Because you think the economy's slowing? Because we're not seeing a lot of production increase in the U.S.
It's not slowing. They don't want it to slow. They're trying to force it. Washington, remember, they're trying to force it into a recession. You know, I grew up in a way, when you have a problem, you fix the problem. You don't cause another problem.
John Catsimatidis, happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
And happy birthday to WABC, too.
Thank you so much.
That's right.
God bless.
God bless.